Tonight, we delve into the shadows of the human heart, exploring true stories of betrayal and the intricate webs of revenge that followed. These aren't tales from fiction. They are real accounts from real people who walked the razor's edge between forgiveness and vengeance. Our first story takes us to a small, quiet town, the kind of place where everyone knows your name, and secrets are thought to be impossible to keep. Here lived two best friends, Liam and Noah. They had been inseparable since childhood, more like brothers than friends. They started a business together, a small but successful construction company, built from the ground up with their own sweat and savings. Liam was the visionary, the one with the grand plans and the charisma to win clients. Noah was the foundation, meticulous, trustworthy, handling the finances and operations with a steady hand. Their company was their shared dream, a testament to their bond. But dreams can curdle into nightmares. The betrayal began subtly. A few unexplained expenses here, a miscalculation there. Noah, ever trusting, brushed them off. Liam was his brother after all. He'd laugh it off, blaming his own fatigue or the complexity of their growing business. But the discrepancies grew larger, harder to ignore. One day, a major client called Noah, confused about a payment they had made directly to a personal account at Liam's request. The account wasn't the company's. When Noah confronted Liam, the charming facade crumbled. Liam confessed. He'd been siphoning money for months, funding a lifestyle of gambling and debt that he'd hidden from everyone. He hadn't just stolen money. He had stolen their future, mortgaging their shared dream to pay for his secret vices. The company was on the brink of collapse. Noah was left with nothing but shattered trust and a mountain of debt. Betrayal doesn't just break your heart, it can break your life. And for Noah, the world had gone dark. The initial shock gave way to a cold, simmering rage. Legal action was slow and frustrating. Liam, ever the charmer, managed to talk his way out of immediate consequences, leaving Noah to deal with the financial fallout. The desire for revenge began to take root in Noah's mind. It wasn't about violence. It was about justice. A justice the legal system seemed unable to provide. He wanted Liam to feel the same crushing weight of loss that he felt. He wanted to dismantle the new life Liam was trying to build on the ruins of their friendship. Noah began to watch. He learned that Liam, having escaped the immediate legal trouble, had used the last of the stolen funds to start a new, smaller venture under a different name, trying to woo some of their old clients. This was his chance. Noah, the man who knew the business inside and out, the one who had built the operational side from scratch, started to move his pieces on the board. He began by contacting their old suppliers, the ones he had built personal relationships with over the years. He didn't slander Liam. He simply told them the truth, showing them the proof of the financial ruin Liam had caused. One by one, Liam's supply lines dried up. Next, Noah went to the clients. He prepared detailed portfolios for each one, showing them the quality of his own work, the meticulous attention to detail that had always been his trademark. He also showed them discreetly the evidence of Liam's financial mismanagement. He wasn't just exposing a thief, he was proving his own worth. He offered to finish their projects at a reduced rate, not just to win their business, but to restore the reputation Liam had tarnished. The community, once charmed by Liam, now saw the truth. His new business crumbled before it even began. He was left with nothing, no money, no business, no friends. He was a pariah in the town they grew up in. Noah had his revenge, not through rage, but through precision and proof. He had taken everything from Liam, but he had done it by rebuilding his own life stronger than before. He found that the best revenge wasn't just about tearing someone else down. It was about building yourself back up, piece by piece, until your success becomes their punishment. Our next story is a chilling reminder that betrayal can come from the person you share your home with, your life, your bed. It's the story of Clara, a talented graphic designer who poured her heart and soul into supporting her husband, Mark, an aspiring novelist. For years, She worked a demanding corporate job she disliked, just so Mark could have the freedom to write his masterpiece. She was his editor, his muse, his biggest cheerleader. His success was her success. After 5 long years of struggle, he finally got a publishing deal. The book was a sensation, a bestseller that catapulted him to literary stardom. During a television interview, the host asked Mark about his inspiration. Clara watched from the audience, her heart swelling with pride, waiting to hear him mention her, to acknowledge her sacrifice. But he didn't. Instead, he wove a tale about a mysterious muse, a woman he met briefly who sparked his creative fire. He described her in detail, and with a sickening jolt, Clara realized he was describing her younger sister. The world tilted on its axis. Suddenly, 1,000 small moments clicked into place. The late-night writing sessions, the private jokes, the knowing glances. The affair had been happening right under her nose. The book, her book, the one she had sacrificed so much for, was a love letter to another woman, her own sister. The betrayal was a double-edged sword, cleaving her family in two. When she confronted them, there was no remorse, only justifications. They were in love, they said. It just happened. They asked for her understanding. Understanding? Clara felt an icy calm descend upon her. She wouldn't scream, she wouldn't cry. Not in front of them. She would plan. Mark's fame was built on a lie, a carefully constructed image of a sensitive, romantic artist. Clara decided she would deconstruct that image, using the very tools he had used against her. Words. Clara was a graphic designer, but she was also a gifted writer, a skill she'd honed while editing Mark's manuscripts. She started a blog, anonymously at first, titled The Ghost Editor. She began writing about the life of a supportive spouse, the hidden sacrifices behind a great artist's success. Her posts were beautifully written, poignant, and filled with intimate details about the creative process, details only someone on the inside would know. The blog gained a following in the literary world. People were fascinated, trying to guess which famous author she was writing about. Then, Clara started dropping clues, a turn of phrase from Mark's book, a description of his writing desk, an anecdote about his strange habits. The online speculation went wild. Her subscriber count exploded. The media picked up the story. Who is the ghost editor, and which literary giant is she exposing? The pressure on Mark began to build. At his public appearances, people would ask him about the blog. His carefully crafted persona began to crack. For the final act, Clara organized a live-streamed Q&A session, promising to reveal her identity. Thousands tuned in. With poise and unwavering calm, she turned on her camera and introduced herself as Clara, Mark's wife. She didn't raise her voice. She simply told her story, laying out the years of sacrifice, the emotional labor, and the devastating betrayal. She held up early drafts of his novel, covered in her handwriting, her notes, her ideas. The proof was undeniable. She wasn't just the ghost editor, she was the co-author he had erased. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic for Mark. His publisher launched an investigation. His public image was shattered. He became a symbol of deceit and ingratitude. Clara, on the other hand, was offered a book deal of her own. She wrote her story, not as one of revenge, but of reclamation. She took back her narrative, her talent, and her life. Her revenge was not in his destruction, but in her own powerful, undeniable creation. These stories teach us a profound lesson. When faced with deep betrayal, the thirst for revenge is a natural human response. It's a primal need to rebalance the scales of justice. But true, lasting victory isn't found in a fleeting moment of destructive satisfaction. It's found in the slow, deliberate, and powerful act of rebuilding. It's in proving that your worth was never tied to the person who betrayed you. It's in transforming your pain into power, your despair into determination. The ultimate revenge is not to become like your enemy, but to rise so far above them that they become an insignificant speck in your past. It is about building a life so full and successful that their betrayal becomes nothing more than a footnote in your story of triumph. Thank you for joining me in the shadows tonight. If you found these stories as compelling as I did, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more tales from the dark side of human nature. Until next time, stay watchful.